Hi. In this material, I will show you how to prepare a touch panel with the help of which you can change the graphics on the whole set of LED screens. Of course, you can also apply this method to other types of displays such as projectors or TVs. We will use two systems for this purpose. First, Disguise D3. Second, Bitfocus Companion. Let's first tackle the preparation of our scene in Designer. To begin with, let's create a new project. First, we can remove the projector and projection surface from the design. Now we can build a scene that will contain 4 screens. In my case, these will be a main screen measuring 8 meters by 4.5 meters and with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels. A screen that is on the floor with the same dimensions as the main screen. A right screen measuring 4 meters by 4.5 meters and with a resolution of 960 by 1080 pixels. And a left screen with the same dimensions as the right screen. After we have created and positioned the screens, we can create mapping so that we can cover their entire surface with content. I will use feed mapping. So let's add a new video layer. Let's choose some media and proceed to create a new mapping. Let's set its size to 3840 pixels by 2160 pixels and add all our screens to it. Now we can position them to best reflect the actual layout of the screens relative to each other. Once we have this done, we can divide our timeline into 4 sections, copy our first video layer 3 times and adjust our copies to be in these sections. Now we can assign a different animation to each of these layers. Once we have that done, let's assign each section to its unique queue number. Finally, we can define a crossfade between sections. Now let's move on to configuring how to manage graphics. In the Devices menu, let's create ourselves a new OSC device. The most important 3 parameters we will need when configuring the companion are IP address, send port, and receive port. I leave the last 2 positions unchanged, while I set the IP address to 192.168.1.1. I do this because I want to use another computer that has a touch screen to manage the server. My setup looks like this: Dell XPS 27 Plus Bitfocus Companion and a laptop with D3 Designer. If I were using a real machine, I could use a set like this. Disguise D3 Solo, in which one DP output would be responsible for sending signals to my all LED screens, while my GUI output would be supplied with a touch screen. In that scenario, I could have the companion installed on my local machine and use a local IP address. It remains for us to go to the Transport tab and create a new local transport there. Here we need to add our OSC device. That would be everything when it comes to D3 configuration. Let's leave this panel open and move on to companion configuration. After launching the application, let's select Ethernet from the GUI interface drop-down list. In the Connections tab, let's search for Disguise. We will be shown 3 items. Let's select the one responsible for OSC devices. We don't have to worry about the exclamation mark next to the Add button. It is just an indication that this modulus has not yet been checked with this version of Companion. After adding it to our connection list, let's click on the name of our module. A window will appear on the right, which we need to fill in with the data we entered while configuring our device in Designer. Then we can go to the Buttons tab. Let's select an empty field here and click Create Button. The position that interests us most is Press Actions. Let's click on the folder icon, and in the window that appears in front of us, let's select D3OSC and then Q. Let's press Done. In the area under Q, we enter the Q number to which we want our button to relate. I type 1. Here we can give a name to our button, but I prefer to choose a graphic illustration of my visualization. So I click here and select the PNG file that corresponds to my visualization. Let's copy the button created in this way 3 times, specify a Q number for each of them and the corresponding image. Now let's select the Web Buttons tab from the menu on the left. As we touch the following buttons, we will jump on the timeline. However, we would like the graphic to start looping right away. To do this, just change the Q Play Mode option from No Change to Play to End of Section. The last thing we should do is to configure the appearance of our touchscreen desktop. First, let's remove all unnecessary buttons and arrange them so that they start from the left edge of our panel. Second, let's click on the gear wheel located in the upper left corner. Check the Hide Configure button option, enter 1 here and 3 here. Now, when we switch to full screen mode, we can use only the buttons we created. If this was helpful to you, give a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. You can also visit our website, broadcastwizard.tech, where you can find courses on stage and television technology. Thanks for watching.